Hi, welcome to LB0 Fox India Norwegian Ham Ventures. Today we're going to take a look at the project I've been really looking forward to try, because a couple of months ago, I think it is, George KJ6VU from Ham Radio Workbench, Sierra Radio Systems, and Pactana, you know George, he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be a beta tester for his station controller system. I guess just call it the station controller. And if you don't know what that is, that's not so strange, because I mean it's a beta test, but it's a system for remote controlling and automating anything but the radio when running remotely. Because the radio, in my case a flex radio, remotes beautifully, but it's everything from turning stuff on and off to just monitoring the state of the station or switching antennas, which is my primary concerns. He's made a modular system to make this work. So we're going to do this in a couple of different steps. First of all, we're going to unbox it. And if you don't want to see the complete unboxing, you can just fast forward through that, because I don't usually do unboxing videos. Next step is going to be setting up the SD card and the control module. Then we're going to hook up the coax relay switch, hopefully, and see if that works, and just do a quick check to see if everything works. This is just a first look video, and we're going to follow this up. It's going to be a series where we take a look and do all kinds of tests on this and see if it works. But this is just my first look video. Hope you stay with me for the entire video, because this is a great project. But first of all, let's go ahead and do the unboxing. This package has actually been stuck in customs forever, and because of Christmas it's taken forever to get here. So let's open it up and see what George included in the box here. And I'm actually filming this at my dining room table, because you've seen my workbench in my previous videos, and that is not a huge space, and this is a pretty big box. So let's see what's inside here, and I'm pretty much just taking everything out and taking a look at it. So the first module is this power board. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little. This power distro and DCN power hub. This is just in order to be able to switch power back and forth to the system. It is not needed the way I'm going to configure it though, but we're going to get to that later on. But it's really nice of George to include this, and we're going to see if we can make this work or not. Furthermore, I'm just going to take this from the top here. We got a BNC to PL259. We'll just leave that over to the side. We got the GPIO module here. So let's open this up and see. And if you think the lighting's terrible here, it is. Everything's set up temporarily here. So this is the GPIO module, and this is in order to switch relays and read voltage, read temperature, pretty much anything you can think of with a GPIO module. I'll get back to that when I've tested this for a little while. And the next step up is the Raspberry Pi host adapter, and this is the heart and brains of the system. And while I open this, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the station controller is, because it's a modular system that creates an infrastructure to create everything, or to control everything but your radio in a remote setup. And this is powered by Raspberry Pi and Node-RED, and this is the Raspberry Pi board. And the Raspberry Pi goes into here with the GPIO pins. And this is the thing that controls everything, even power. This uses RS485, I think it's called. And it uses over Cat5 cables. So everything, power and communication is handled through Cat5 cables here. So you only need to power this board, and everything else powers on. So that's this board. Then we have what George has labeled as an installation kit. It's a bunch of wires and different bits and bobs to install this. We're going to get back to that later on. Then we got a board here. No, this is not a board. This is just 4 loose relays. I'm not going to open these. I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet, so I'm probably going to hook them up and test them, but I'm not going to use them straight away. And then we got the port I'm probably most excited about, and that's a coax switch. So I'm going to open that up. And this is a 4 antenna, 1 radio, or 1 radio, 4 antenna switch with a common connector in the middle, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to go into my shack, because one of the things I've been missing with my remote setup is actually the ability to be able to switch my antennas remotely, because I always seem to be on the wrong antenna while doing that. So I got this board. We'll leave that over to the side as well. Now we got 3 pieces of DIN rail, and I'm actually going to go into the shack after this and just show you how my plan is to mount this. We'll just leave them in the box. Got a couple of more, 3 more stubs of coax here. That's going to be used in order to hook my antennas up to this. We got some bits and bobs here. Some screws, just a bunch of loose parts. DIN rail mounts. We got the modular connectors here for the relays and everything else that's connected into this. More DIN rail mounts, and that's about it. And besides that, since I'm beta testing this product, I've actually printed the manual, because let's go through and test the manual as well when we get there. But for now, let's go into the shack and see where I'm thinking about mounting this once I have everything set up. And here's the flex. And where I'm thinking about mounting this, and I'm going to just pan up here, or tilt up more correctly. If you see here on the wall just above the flex, I have my antenna switch here, which is going to be replaced by the coax switching module from George here. So my plan is to mount the coax switching module about here on a DIN rail. Besides that, I'm going to mount the GPIO board right here, and then I'm going to remove my framed license here. I'm going to put that somewhere else and put the Raspberry Pi host module just above that. So everything just in a nice place here right beside my radio, so everything is easy to hook up. And since, as I said, since I'm beta testing this, I printed the manual. So let's check the manual and see how this is done though. So let's see what we need for the initial steps here. We need the Raspberry Pi adapter module. We got that. We got a Raspberry Pi, and we even got a Raspberry Pi 3 here, which is going to be used for this. We got a micro SD card, except we got a 32 gigabyte and not a 16 gigabyte, but I'm guessing that'll work. We need 1 or more station controller modules. Yep, got those. We need a 12 to 15 volt DC power supply. Yep, got that. We need a flat edge screwdriver. That's actually in the bag, the installation kit. We need the Cat 5 or Cat 6 cables. We got that. And we got a mounting surface, as you actually saw from the shack, where I'm planning to mount this. Then we got the DIN rails and the DIN rail clip. And as far as I've read, we don't really need a keyboard, mouse, and monitor to plug into a Raspberry Pi. If we plug it in with Ethernet, so we're going to do that for the first boot. But the first thing I'm going to do though is to set up the Raspberry Pi board and just check that that works, and then I'm going to work my way from there. So let's go ahead and move over to the shack and do a little bit of work there. So we're in the shack and at my rather messy workbench here. I figured we actually need 1 more module, and that's the GPIO module, just because this is a display that shows the IP address, and that makes things so much more easy when we're booting headless here. And hopefully it'll work headless. I am not sure if it will, but we're going to give it a go before I have to drag out a keyboard and a monitor and everything. Because what I also have in the shack is actually wired Ethernet. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just flash this SD card with the right image off screen. We're going to mount the SD card. We're going to hook everything together and hook up a battery and see if everything starts up. And through the magic of video editing, I've now flashed the SD card. So let's go ahead and insert it into the Pi. And then there's a little bit of a notch here. So the design is pretty smart because that notch fits the ports here on the Pi. So we're going to line up the... I'm going to try to do this on camera as good as possible. Line up the GPIO pins. And then we're smoothly going to just push down on this. There we go. It's not completely flat. There we go. Now it's looking pretty good. And just in order to have a display here and one of the modules attached, we're going to attach the board here. And to power everything, we're just going to use LiFePO 4 battery that I got here. Then we're going to plug in the wired Ethernet here, like this. Then we're going to take the LiFePO 4 battery, plug it in and see what happens. I'm about as excited as you guys are because I've never tried this before. So let's see if we can make it work on the first try. There we go, we got an IP address. Let's zoom in so we can see that. As you can see, it flashes through the different relays here and everything, different states. So we'll just wait till it pops up with the IP. We had the IP, and now it just doesn't show the IP, so I'm not sure why it doesn't do that. I'm going to just go into my router's web interface and see if we can find that and see if we can fire up the UI for this. And even though it didn't show up on... Let's see if we can lay this flat somewhere. Didn't show up on the display for long. It's right here. So the IP is 192.168.68.73. So let's go into the interface here and check. We have the web interface up and running here, and I'm just going to show the relay board here. So that's easy to look at here now while we do this. Then I'm going to have a little bit of an overlay with the control panel here. So we got the panel here, and you see there's not much happening here. I can click the display IP address and the display comes up with the IP address of the device, which is really nice for debugging and looking at everything. Then we have the antennas over here. This is not properly configured at the moment though, so I'm going to change the names of these later on. Then we have the relays, so let's just check relay 1 through 4, which is on the board here. Relay 1 clicks on, clicks off. Relay 2 clicks on, clicks off. Relay 3 on and off. Relay 4 on and off. So this works. How about we get the coax switch module, hook that up and see if that works as well. And here we are with both the GPIO board and the coax switcher board, and these are probably the modules, or these are the modules I'm going to use here for starters. Then we'll see what happens. And if we look at the interface here, we now have the relays. Let's say that relay on is to switch the radio on. So by turning that on, we've turned the flex radio on. Then we can switch the antennas, and if you look here, if I press port number 2, relay clicks, and we're at port number 2, as you can see. If I click number 3, we're at number 3, and number 4. So we're pretty much good for a start here. I haven't measured anything. I haven't tested anything with a multimeter. I've just made sure that everything clicks. And then later on in my next video, which will drop in a few days, we'll take a look at how I mounted this. So that's my quick first look at the station controller. Hope you liked this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you really liked this video, click a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, and by any kind of miracle actually has watched this long, click a thumbs down. That helps the algorithm as well. Leave a comment down below. And in my next video, I'm going to take a look at how to mount this behind me here and get everything up and do my first steps. But this is enough for first look at the product. Anyhow, that's it for now. 73, my friends. See you down the bands and see you in my next video.